Okay, now our final afternoon meeting. Special meeting of the Glendale City Council will be called to order at 3:12 p.m.
Council members: Friedman.
Here.
Jarian.
Here.
Quintero.
Here.
Nanian. Here. Mayor Weaver.
Here. Okay, we have your report.
Agenda for the October 1st, 2013 special public meeting of the City Council was posted on Thursday, September 26, 2013 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Thank you. The first item.
Before you is a public hearing, Director of Public Works regarding conditional vacation of the first public alley east of Central Avenue and south of Wilson Avenue, vacation case number 172V. At 1A is a resolution ordering the vacation. At 1B is a resolution adopting plan number 12-231. Again, this is a public hearing.
Mr. Cho.
Yes, there's a rather straightforward matter with the purchase by private property owners, the same private property owner, and the movement towards a new and redeveloped site involving the Holland Partners Company. The item before you is the alley vacation in that jurisdiction or in that location east of Central, south of Wilson, that no longer serves any purpose under the current property ownership configuration. So we are requesting the resolution ordering the vacation and the plan for such vacation. This is a public hearing, so we can open the public hearing, and then Rubik Golani, our city engineer and deputy director of public works, can answer any questions you might have.
I'll open the public hearing. Are there any questions? So staff, I have no cards.
I have staff questions.
Staff? Speaking. Rubik?
Thank you, Mr. Galanian. First of all, I see the report that we have. Who wrote this report?
Mr. Mayor, Member City Council, Councilman Najarian, it was written under my supervision.
Okay. So I'm talking to the right person.
Yes, sir.
And I guess I should preface my comments that nothing I say, nor my tone or demeanor, in any way is a reflection on your good work.
Thank you.
In the fiscal impact portion of the report, it says that there is no fiscal impact to the city. So by my calculations, we're almost talking about 4,000 square feet of land. Correct? Does that land have no value?
Mr. Mayor, Members of City Council, Councilman Najarian, the underlying fee title of that piece of land you just described belongs to the adjacent property owners. So essentially, the city has a public easement for the use of that property.
So when we vacate it, it goes back to those adjoining property owners.
On both sides.
Does the easement have a value?
Only for the public use.
As an alley.
And our job as elected officials is to represent the public, is it not?
Yes, sir.
So when we say that there's no impact to the city, I think that's a rather superficial analysis of the impact. I think it should say that this easement could be sold back to the fee owners.
No, it cannot be.
No,
An
it's
easement?
theirs.
No, the underlying fee belongs to the property owner. If we are abandoning it as public use, then by right it goes back to those fee owners.
As
I would defer to city attorney, but
It's as
Correct.
of every other vacation that I've ever seen.
And in order to make a finding that, in order to do a street vacation, you need to make a finding that it's unnecessary for prospective public use, meaning it has no use.
So maybe I'm wrong, but you're telling me that owner of an easement is not able to relinquish that easement in return for compensation?
As
Someone
a
can't buy
general
out an
matter,
easement
yes,
holder?
but that's separate from the street vacation process under the Streets and Highways Code.
Is separate? Okay. I don't agree with that, but does the, we're talking about 4,000 square feet, does the return of this, the use of this land unencumbered back to the owners in any way increase the area of their property in which an additional number of units could be submitted based on the floor area ratio of our downtown specific plan.
I can't imagine that it does because if I remember correctly, and the developers here, if you would like to get their perspective, but the plan that was submitted was for the entire site, inclusive of this area that they own in fee. So if I follow, we would have had to, in the phase or stage 1, and I think stage 2, is it stage 2 as well? Entitlement, to have exempted that from their FAR, only to give it right back, because again, we wouldn't be using it for any public purpose because the utilities that are currently in the alley are being relocated to the street. And Vilia, are you the case planner? Can you come up? I just want to be very clear, if you have that recollection, that the area of the alley was included in the analysis of their overall project for stage 2?
Correct, Mayor Weaver. Council members, the alley was included as part of the Stage 2 approval. And just to note also that this particular alley, once vacated, or actually at this point in time, would only serve these 2 adjacent parcels. So essentially, there is no public use for this alley other than for the 2 adjacent parcels. It does not serve the use, the 3-story office building to the south that fronts Broadway. So unlike other alleys that provide circulation for adjacent properties, this particular alley does not.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Let me get the sequence straight here. When they came for stage 2, the owners had already assumed, or staff had already indicated, that the city was going to give up their easement on that alley, and that they built their project assuming that we were going to give up that alley, when in fact no action had yet been taken on that alley. And the first action that we have before us now, this is the first action with regard to vacating the alley.
But I think the order of events is accurate, that the way it's been done, to be able to get an approval on a project, because if the city council did not approve such project, then it would be debatable whether or not the future disposition of those properties would be as it is today, meaning that it's held by the same property owner desiring to consolidate all of that into one development parcel. And thus, that alley would still potentially have some public use because they could very well sell off one piece of that property if they did not get the desired entitlement.
In fact, is this not the property that we gave a 20-year entitlement process to?
Correct.
So we're thinking, oh, they're going to build it, so we have to give up the alley. But any action that they take may be 20 years away.
Maybe.
So again, are we not premature in vacating this alley until such time as plans and permits are pulled for the construction? And it may be 20 years from now. We might be dead. But we gave them a 20-year entitlement process. Like Disney, they're almost like Disney, but 20 years. So again, my argument is, let me not ask the questions, let me just get straight to the point. Any action in vacating this alley, I think, is premature until such time as these folks are ready to commit to the project that they have entitlements to. Any other different project may, in the course of development, require that that alley be maintained for a city easement. I mean, that's...
I'd like to hear the response from the staff.
Actually, and I'd just like to point out, as noted in your staff report, this is a conditional vacation. This alley will not be vacated until all of the businesses are closed, the businesses are relocated, and the actual current developer, Holland Partners, goes into plan check and receives building permits, and only at that time will this alley be vacated. So this is conditional. If the project does not proceed forward as approved, and for instance, the 14-year development agreement expires, the alley will still be a public alley. No vacation will go into effect.
Talking about Section 5A of the resolution, of the resolution then. So, does that indicate that the development agreement, any change to the development agreement other than that which we have already approved, would void the vacation of the alley? If it's contingent on fulfilling the original development agreement, let's say they want to add more units, and it's different than the original development agreement, and they come in, that would void this action of vacating.
It ties back, you are correct, it ties back to the entitlement that was given.
Correct.
So minor modifications of the skin of the building, very minor, that would not have to come back to the council. This would stay in place. If you wanted to add units, if you wanted to change the scope in a meaningful way, then that condition would be exercised.
Under the current development agreement with the two parcels, in the event that they are built out, what is the distance between the two properties, building to building?
Building to building, I would have to refer to the plans. At this point in time, I know there were also building code issues that we were trying to work out due to building code openings and whatnot. I would have to look those up at this point, so I do not know those off the top of my head.
And the reason I asked,
I'm being told by the applicant it's approximately 20 feet between the buildings. And I know that right now, the alleyway that is being vacated will be going towards the Central Wilson project site. It will be devoted primarily to the subterranean garage, and above it will be the common open space that's being shared by the two Holland Partners adjacent projects. So it will not consist of additional units up above. It essentially would be the open space for the two units.
in the
two
design
projects.
that we saw.
Correct.
And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Any other comments?
No.
Is there a motion on 1A?
Move the
1A and B?
You want to
resolution.
close out the hearing first?
Good point. I'll close the public hearing. You're going to move 1A and B?
Move 1A and B, and let me comment, to me, this is a ministerial function that we're doing this afternoon.
Okay. Roll call. Wait, was there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmembers Friedman,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Sinanian,
Yes.
Mayor Weaver.
Aye. Is there a motion to adjourn for the council?
So moved. Second.
Okay, we're adjourned at 3:25 PM.